Hi everyone and welcome to the Absolute FM Show, your football manager podcast for everything FM related. My name is AFM Moochy and I'm joined as always by my co-host and good friend Kylex. Kylex, how's it going, dude?
How's it going, everyone? How's it going, Moochy?
I'm really good, thanks. How have you been? It's been a while since we've spoken. How are things going in your FM world?
In my FM world, currently I'm Newcastle in the beta save, and I've not got too far in. I've only got 21 games in, but I'm doing better than we are actually in real life, so that's good. We're currently lying 7th. We were 2nd,
Okay.
and then I had a nasty run of games that included Chelsea, Tottenham, Man City and Arsenal, I think, and obviously I didn't get anything from any of them, so we've dropped down to 7th. But
that is a nightmare run, man.
Yeah. I saw it coming as well. It wasn't like, you know when you just look at fixtures and you go, well,
yeah,
so it wasn't something I was too worried about. But
you got to pay him at some time.
Yeah.
And second before that, like you had the points in the bag, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, I'm on 32 points. I can't even imagine us getting 32 points in real life this season. So technically, I'm better than Rafa Benitez. I'm just saying, like, stats don't lie and all that.
Exactly,
so,
and you're only as good as your last game. It doesn't matter that he's won the Champions League, etc., etc.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a newer manager than him. He's been around for years. I'll get there.
That is very, very true. What I also want to say actually is you and I, of course, we are co-founders, 2 of 6 of the co-founders of the Absolute FM Discord. It's something we're very passionate about. We love the community over there, but perhaps you can just tell everyone about the other founders and just a bit about Absolute FM and what it offers people.
Yeah. Absolute FM is a community Discord based around Football Manager, and it was started because there's a lot of Discords based around Football Manager, but a lot of them aren't as not helpful. Mm-hmm. What's the word I'm trying to think of? Supportive, maybe.
Yeah, that's a good word.
So I wanted somewhere that you can come as a new content creator and find the help you need, or even if you don't create content and you just want to find different varied content, really.
Yep.
So so that was it. It was my idea. I've been looking for the right people. We have had previous founders that were excellent as well.
Mm-hmm.
But the founders at the minute, we've got Kev Mckeown 1982, who's been there since day one. He's the bot man and a very good techie.
Mm-hmm.
We've got IDKM.
Yep.
We've got Fryman7, who won the FM World Esports Championship and got some amazing experiences. I think he got like 15 grand, and he got to manage Norwich City in a like Legends, in a game against Inter Milan Legends, which is absolutely unreal. It's the dream for people like us.
That's ridiculous.
So someone like him, and he's got it all on his YouTube. So
check
make
it
sure
out.
you check that out. Also, we have got Sefian's World, who is, as I call him, my colonial cousin. He's from across the water in the States.
Yep.
And I think that's everyone, is it?
I don't think you've missed anyone.
No, it's because I'm only naming 4, because obviously there's 2 of us as well.
There's also you and there's me, so that's fine.
Yeah.
It's a great bunch. And I would just say, like, you mentioned that it was your idea and you founded it, and then along the way we've kind of, joined. And so at some point I have been new into the Discord, and there of course are loads of Discords out there. You said that earlier on, mate, but like I came into it, and as soon as you come in, you notice, and it's something I've tried to do, but you get welcomed straight away by some of the members, and then you just jump into the general chat, and it's just people talking about FM. And since I've joined, I make sure that I take that forward with the people that are joining, and I've got people that we've chatted to in the general that have just become interested in checking out my content on YouTube, etc. And it's just about sharing and people saying what they're doing in their saves, talking about other people's saves, and it's just a good bunch of people talking about the game we love, really.
Yeah, and I already mentioned about, sometimes there is quite a few people who don't create content, and they're there to obviously find people to watch, but it's also a good place to showcase your stuff as well. For if you're a new creator and you want to come in and tell people where you can find your stuff. There's channels in this post all your YouTube videos, your Twitch channels, and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So it is the aim is probably not as helpful as it could be in the long run, but we are still fairly new. We started sort of midway through FM 18, so there's still room for improvement.
Mm-hmm.
And we're still working towards it. So it's not the finished article, but we are pushing to get there.
And how many people have we got on there?
I'm not really focused too much on the numbers, but last time I checked, it was maybe 770 something, 780.
Which is a great number. And the reason I ask about the number is that I find myself talking with loads of different people. So it's not just about there's 5 active people, 6, 7, whatever. It's not just the founders having a chat amongst themselves. There are different people on there every single day, and it's a good number to reach out to people.
Yeah, definitely. And we're growing every day, getting a few people in a week, and it's hopefully it will keep growing. And obviously the more people that are involved, the bigger the community gets, the more help there is in the community, the more showcasing there is in the community. And so it is a really good community. We've not really had any sort of problems. We've not really had any kind of grating or anything like some communities have had, in the past. And just touching on what you were saying about, the welcoming and all that, that's something that I've really tried to push as well, because I'm in a number of communities, and the ones I'm in now are good communities, but there is some that I've been in previously, and you basically go in and you're just left.
Yeah.
To sort of make contact and conversations with people, and some people are not, that way inclined, so I just think, giving that little, hello when they come in, it already gives them a friendly face to talk to in the actual general chat.
Yeah, and it's not like a bot just doing it.
Yeah, and we have got the bot doing it as well, but we try and get people to do it just so, that then gets you into the general, because then you're having a chat with someone in general, and then from then on, while you're talking to this one person about all your, what you're interested in and your stuff, then other people start getting involved, and then all of a sudden you've met 5 new people, and so on and so forth. Do you know what I mean? So
absolutely,
it is. Like I said, it's not the finished article. It's come a long way from day one. And it will go a lot further. I'm sure of it. With the people we've got involved, I think it's a good bunch of people to pull the Discord forward in the right direction.
And I think now is the time. The game's new, obviously. FM 19's out. Well, it's out now. We obviously record this on a Thursday.
So it came out Thursday.
Yeah, which is nice of Football Manager and Sports Interactive to get the game out a day earlier, as the beta did actually. But it's nice. Who doesn't like coming home from work and having a bit of FM to play?
Me, because I didn't do that. I was in work last Friday in the morning, and I wasn't very happy, because the idea was I'd finish work and then it'd be released, and then I've got all week off, half time to play it. But what actually happened is I finished work on the Thursday. Came home, did a bit of streaming, and then all of a sudden it's been released, and I thought, well, I can't start it now because I'm up at 7. I'm up at 6 in the morning. So
it didn't work. It scuppered my plans as well. I came home and I thought, right, so Thursday night I'm gonna make my intro video to my beta save, and it took me all night. And by the time I'd finished it, I realised the game was out, and I'd spent all night making a video and not actually playing the game I'm making a video for.
Yeah.
It was quite frustrating, but it took me all night. I did my week in FM has been spent playing in my Crystal Palace beta save, and so I started that by writing a little fairy tale, and then it's only 2.5 minutes long, but to get all the pictures...
But it was awesome.
Thank you. It was fun.
I really, really enjoyed it. It was very different as well.
That was the plan. Both the save idea itself was to, of course, if you're not familiar with it, it is that I was Crystal Palace and I'm going to sell Zaha and see how we get on. So a good friend of mine is a Palace fan, and we always talk about Zaha and how the team overly relies on him. And then I thought to myself, well, what would Palace be like without Zaha? So off he went, and so the save went. But I just thought Crystal Palace. It sounds like a fairy tale. Let's write a fairy tale. Cast Zaha as the hero that we sell. And it was just a bit of fun. 2.5 minutes of fun that took about 4 hours to make.
So what about the cryptic title? Tell us a little bit about the title of the series, the cryptic title.
Okay, so SE25 minus 11 equals. So it is Crystal Palace are based in SE25. Zaha wears... Yeah, Zaha wears number 11. And so equals question mark, as in, how are we going to get on? So Crystal Palace minus Zaha equals what?
And is it a fairy tale, or is it... How's it going?
Well, I suppose we're in the middle act. So if Chapter 1, the first season, went very well. Chapter 2, the second season, which in the middle of now, is going less well. And Chapter 3, I'm hoping to conclude before the start of the main save. But I'm enjoying it, and I think that's all that matters. Do you know what? I think there's so much about FM19 that... And we'll get on to the things that we like about the new approach or the new look of the game, etc. But it just feels good. It feels fresh. And so jumping in with some different content... I mean, my FM18 save was abroad, so it's nice to come back to England and, I suppose get used to playing against teams and players that you know. But I'm loving it, as it sounds like you were with your Newcastle save as well. Yeah,
it's enjoyable. Well, the last 4 games before the last game I played weren't. But
who likes losing? No one.
Yeah. I mean, some of your results over your last few games have been a bit phenomenal.
We've had a good run, but... Yeah, it's interspersed with some shockers.
Like the newest release. I'm not going to spoil it at all.
Okay.
But there was a point where the your star striker, should we say, scored 2 goals in one game.
I know.
And then in the newest one, you score like 5 goals and he doesn't get a sniff.
Yeah, well, that's him all over, and it won't spoil it for anyone if I tell the listeners that we're talking about Benteke.
Yeah,
he is. I don't know how to describe him in real life. Of course, he is just shot of all confidence. There was a point when he was regarded as a good player, and now I think the Palace fans think he's a bit of a joke. But in my first season. By the time this goes out, the season 2 will be finished, so it's not spoilers by now, but he scored 21 goals in the first season. Can you imagine Christian Benteke scoring 21 goals in the Premier League?
I think 5 seasons ago, maybe. 6 seasons ago.
Yeah, we've really wound the clock back for him.
Yeah, I mean, and he's not the only star striker you've got that's past it. I mean, you've got big Balotelli as well, who's weirdly I noticed only 3-star current and potential.
Yeah, he came in.
I would have thought he'd be much
window.
bigger than 3-star.
Well, when I signed him, he came in at in the closed season. So once we ended our first season well, and we got into Europe, and so I wanted to. Well, we needed to expand the squad because it's a small squad, and Balotelli was available on a free. So which fair enough. He's got pedigree.
Yeah.
He was 4-star when we bought him, but He's terrible. He's worse
So the
than
same as
Benteke.
I've basically done the same with Berbatov. I bought him because as everyone knows, Newcastle. I know they're gifted with striking talent, with the likes of Perez, Rondon, and all them absolute legends.
Yeah,
so
of
I
course.
thought, I'll bring in a striker, someone who can do the job, and he's not. He's just not doing it. And it's a bit annoying.
It is. Is he on a lot of money?
Not on as much as you'd think. I can't remember what he's on. I think it's about 120 or something.
Oh God!
So it's not superstar money, but
it sounds a lot.
It is a lot now. I wouldn't have given it. I wouldn't give him it now if I had the choice. But So back to the Arsenal game.
Yes.
I'm just going to mention, if you haven't seen it, go and watch it, guys, because there's a lot of goals and there's also a lot of weird goals, I don't know.
It was a strange episode, and actually, I'm not sure if I think I probably mentioned it in the video, but what I'm struggling with in a nutshell, season 1, I picked the way that we play. I was confident in that approach, and I just thought this is what we're doing, and either teams break us down or they don't. A bit like when Leicester won the league. This is what we're doing. I was going
to say you're very much dilly ding dilly dong, aren't you? The Tinker Man.
What a legend! Yeah, what
Ranieri.
a legend.
You're just changing little tiny bits here and there.
Yeah, but we still play the same way. And then in season 2, because we had European football and I brought in better players, I thought, well, we should be able to play a different way. And I've tinkered so much that I've now lost confidence in every tactic. I just don't know the right way to play anymore.
You're tinkered out.
I'm tinkered out. I need a rest. So when we played the game against Arsenal, which as we go live, it's the episode on the 1st of November. It might even have been the first time that we tried something, or I'd have done it the game before, but it had surprising results, put it that way.
Yeah.
Lots
One more
of goals.
thing I wanted to mention about your save is obviously you've signed the great Jamal Lascelles.
I have.
Now, I'm a massive fan of him.
Yeah.
And in my Newcastle save, he's doing all right. He's still pretty young, isn't he? He's still coming into his own.
Yes.
But for his age, I think he's a very underrated defender in the game.
I would agree.
In real life, he's just signed a new 5-year deal, which I'm so happy about because apparently Tottenham and Chelsea were sniffing about. But in the game, he's constantly at the top of the best trainers. I mean, I don't think he's ever dropped below 9.
Okay, that's interesting.
And he's very high. He's always not between 9 and sometimes he's even at 10. So what I wanted to see is if that was a across the board thing. What's he like at Crystal Palace?
He trains well. I think there's probably been a couple of moments where you get the praise for what they've done, but I don't know if you. I'm sure I said it in a video, but it was only a small detail. Do you know where I got him from? Because I didn't get him from Newcastle.
Oh no,
it's fine. But did you know that I didn't get him from Newcastle?
I didn't know.
Because he's on loan. I got him on loan from Chelsea.
Oh, balls.
So they bought him in the first season, and he played a handful of games, a shocking average rating of 6.7 or something. So I got him on loan. So I don't own him, and I don't know if maybe that's got something to do with
his lack of or his dynamics, if you like.
Yeah, exactly. It could just be it's not his club. So maybe, but he trains well. Certainly, I've not got any problems with him, and I think he might actually be my best defender. Although there is definitely a video coming where he has an absolute mare.
Right.
Yeah, I even get a
worse than Danny Rose. I think he's had 2 in the last 3, hasn't he?
Yeah, one of the new things now. You see the when they drop below or they get to a 6 or below, and it goes red on their average rating. Lascelles has had a couple of those, and obviously Rose is a real hook candidate at half time. So
right,
but it's good. I'm loving it. And it's one of those, I can't wait to start my main save, but it's also a bit hard to say goodbye to Crystal Palace.
Yeah, I can understand that. I mean, I haven't put a lot into my beta save because obviously I've got very big plans for my main save, but we'll get into that a bit later.
We will.
One more thing about your save,
Yep.
well, it's kind of your save, about when you were saying about Everton.
Mm-hmm.
And you
Yes.
said about...
I put a tweet out.
Yeah, Liverpool have got an Everton player.
Yeah.
Liverpool have got a player called Everton, sorry.
They have. The game that I referenced just to lead into what you're talking about, but my tweet, which it's at FM Moochy, but again, something else we can come to later. But I noticed in my Crystal Palace save, it was Everton v Liverpool. So Everton were at home. The game finished 3-3, and Liverpool, their 3 goals, a hat-trick from the same player who went by the name of Everton. Like,
So
I wonder what the fans what must the fans sing? Like, can the Liverpool fans sing Everton? Do the Everton fans sing for him? In real life, how would it work?
Yeah, and that leads me brilliantly onto a story that I wanted to tell. A lot of people in obviously Liverpool will know about this. I'm not sure how far afield it's gone apart from in Liverpool, but
It's not come down here.
In Liverpool, they've got this. They've got the Liverpool One shopping centre.
Mm-hmm.
And it's obviously one of the biggest shopping centres in Europe. I think it's a big shopping centre, and it's called Liverpool One. And Everton have got a club store. You might sort of know where this is going after I say this, but Everton have got a club store just outside Goodison Park, and it's called Everton One.
Right.
So when Liverpool One opened, Everton opened up a store in Liverpool One. But they've already got a store called Everton One. So what's the natural progression? What's the new store going to be called?
If it's not called Everton 2.
Yeah, it's called Everton 2, right? So on the address, whenever you send a letter to that store,
Yeah.
the address is going to be Everton 2, Liverpool 1. Now, I think that is... I'm pretty certain there's some marketing gone into that. That can't be by accident.
Well, it is genius, and
it is, and it still makes me laugh to this day. So I think, and it's true. It's true. If you don't have a clue, look it up. It's a true story. There's a store called Everton 2 in Liverpool 1, and the address would be Everton 2, Liverpool 1. So it's like Liverpool's biggest shopping centre. One of the biggest shopping centres in Europe, and they're still getting outdone by Everton. Underhanded, but still.
Round of applause for the Toffees, definitely.
Yeah.
That is fantastic. Brilliant. So each week we are going to have a topic of the week, something that we can discuss, whether that is something from the week, a newsworthy item, something in the game, who knows. This week I thought it would be a good idea for Kylex and I to talk about our first thoughts on FM19 now that we've spent a few weeks in it, and maybe go through some of our favourite things. So, what are your first impressions of FM19, Kylex?
I'm not going to say purple. I know I just kind of did, but I'm not going to, because it's been... I've not even used the purple skin, so it's not a big deal to me.
Have you not?
I went straight for the dark skin. I use all my social media and everything, I use dark skins on.
Okay.
And obviously people have been saying the light skin, which is the opposite option, is like looking at a solar eclipse. So, but I always go dark, so it's not really affecting me. So I'm not going to really talk about that. But I think this. I'm not sure, but I think they're sort of getting ready with FM19 for FM20. They're putting everything in place for the big 2.0. That's what I think. And up until now, this has to be the best FM so far, and not just for being easy on the eyes when you're not using certain skins. Not just for the new feature, all of the new features, but also for the first time ever, we've obviously got the managerial induction. So for years and years, I think 2005 was the first actual Football Manager, wasn't it? And I think it's always sort of been just click and hope you find your way around the game. Yeah. But obviously, in this one, they've actually got the managerial induction. So finally, and I think we've got Loki Doki to kind of thank for that as well, because he did the what FM needs, and they tended to listen to a lot of the stuff. I think otherwise he just got really fluky. But but and it's almost exactly how he sort of made it sound in his head as well. The when he was explaining it, it's exactly what he asked for. So, and it works. And I think the game in itself, for any new people to start playing it now, without that, even I on some of the pages, and I've been playing it for 19, 20 years or whatever it is, I get a little bit overwhelmed. Do you know what I mean? With a lot like the training and all that. I still haven't really used it in this one yet. Not properly anyway. I've had a look at it, but can you imagine? If you're a 16-year-old fresh leaving school, never played Football Manager, and thinks, "Oh, I'll get into that because my mate's playing it." Do you know what I mean?
So, I mean it's a great point, because you know what, I was talking recently to a friend of mine at work, and he was talking about the version that he plays, and of course you and I and most people listen to this, I'm sure, play the PC version, the full game. He plays the mobile version because when he was a kid he used to play the PC version, but he openly admits that now, having not played it for years and years, it's just so big. It's too much for him to sort of get his teeth into, and he wouldn't even know where to begin. And I think most big game releases focus on something that they'd call the new player experience. So if someone that hasn't picked up the game before wants to do so, where do they start? And because Football Manager is so realistic, they need to offer people that helping hand. So I think it's a spot-on thing to mention.
Yeah, I mean, the good thing to mention about, obviously, the FM mobile, is that it very strongly resembles the early Football Managers.
Yeah.
So it's almost like playing one of them, but with updated, obviously, players and stuff like that. But obviously, the PC version has got that big that they can't. That's why they stopped doing it on consoles, didn't they? Because consoles weren't big enough to be able to handle everything that was thrown at Football Manager. So, yeah.
You imagine being a kid playing the game that we used to play on those massive PCs, and then telling yourself one day you'll be able to play this game in the palm of your hand walking around. Like, what a dream.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll come. It'll come.
It will. But it's nice. Do you know what though? I think it's nice that the game offers versions for different people. Like, if you want to just play a Football Manager game, there's nothing better than the likes of the FM mobile and the touch version, but it does have the extra level of sort of complexity to it, which is the game that we love.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, I cannot play touch. Not touch. Well, touch is a whole new thing. I haven't obviously played that yet because it's only just been released today. But the FM mobile, it's literally too basic.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? I think for the hardcore Football Manager players, FM mobile is just like beginner level, if you like.
It is.
So yeah,
I think it might even be developed by a sort of a studio in partnership with Sports Interactive. I think Sports Interactive make the full game and the touch game. I think the mobile version is created with like a sister studio or something. So
sort of thing with, in partnership.
Yeah, cool.
So yeah, what have you got? What?
Well, I thought about my favourite things, and it's difficult because my favourite thing, first and foremost, is that we've just got a new Football Manager. You know, who doesn't get excited for a new thing?
My favourite thing is the game.
Yeah, that is. I think if we start there, then it's it's a good place to start. Yeah, that's it. So done. See you next week. Bye. I will mention purple. I love it. I'm using it, and I just to say that it's not so much that it's purple, which is what I love. It's more that the game has looked the same for a long, long time. You've got your light skin and your dark skin, and maybe you might download a skin from somewhere. But it's just that out of the box, the game feels and also looks different. It just feels fresh. So I think how the game makes me feel is one of my favourite things straight away. Some of the things that are brand new into the game and I think, do you know what? I hadn't thought about it, but you saying it earlier on about laying the foundations for FM20, maybe that's exactly my missing link with these points, because I've looked at the tactics and the training overhaul, It's a word that they've used, overhaul, and I think it's very true, because both things they're completely different to what it was last year. But I wonder how much difference they're actually making on the screen. It looks wonderful, but you look at something like tactics, for example. Of course, you've now got, and I'm sure everyone's familiar with what we're talking about, but you've got your tactic, but then you've also got out of possession and then in transition. And there are things that are very obvious. For example, if you in your tactic ask your team to prevent short goalkeeper distribution, then you've got your front three, or I've got a front three anyway, and they will be just outside of the opposition's box. So that's obvious because it's there and you can see it. But in transition, and I'm asking, or out of possession, I'm asking the team to press or counter press. It looks nice, and it looks like it would do something in the tactic, but I wonder actually how much difference that's making.
Yeah.
Is it just for the sake of it, because they can, or is it something that's fundamentally making a big difference? Because I find myself tweaking with tactics, and I think, okay, well, we're losing, so I want to try and do something, we'll make a change. But although small changes can make a big difference in terms of we're balanced as our mentality, I'm now going to go positive, and then we end up leaving gaps wide open and we lose by a wider margin. But I just wonder how much that's actually making a difference. And with the training, I know you mentioned earlier that you've sort of looked at it but kind of scratched the surface. For me, I think it's massively different, but I think you could do more harm than good. So if you just leave it to your assistant manager, you're going to get a reasonable level of training. But if you try and do it yourself without knowing what it is that you're doing, and there's lots of good videos on YouTube about people instructing you of how to use the training, but if you try and just make your own training, I think I that's the best way I can describe it. I think you'll do more harm than good. So I've left a lot of my training to the assistant manager. Have you done something similar?
Yeah. One thing I will say, and this is not a plug or anything, but it was mentioned to me earlier that there's a very, very good bit of content. I'm guessing it's a blog because it's by Cleon,
Yes.
who does the Tea and Busquets blog.
It's very good.
Yeah, I haven't looked at it yet, but I have saved it for my read later list. So supposedly that's very, very good. So I will look at that, and then maybe I'll tinker a little bit more. But right now I just look at it and go, it looks about right. We'll leave it at that.
They're resting when they need to rest, and they're working on. But yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, the in possession, in transition, and out of possession thing, I do think is really good because it does help you sort of embed your own philosophy into the game a bit more, rather than just going attack or not attack, or in previous FMs it's been very sort of basic, but being able to do them phases and them tactical styles, including as well as the roles and the positions or formations you're using. I think that is a nice touch, and I think it will take a lot of practice. I think
definitely, yeah,
for even the most hardcore football manager players, but I think it's probably going to be something that's here to stay, and it's probably going to be something that's going to be built on. But I don't think they're going to do much more for FM20. I know it's very early days, and I'm only speculating. But
yeah.
If it was me, obviously because it's a FM20, it's a big one. I would like to see tinker with what they've done already, because like you've said and like I've said, it is probably one of the best. It is the best FM game so far.
It's the best. Yeah, no doubt.
It's in every way, shape or form. It's a really, really good game. It's very in depth, and there will be ways that you'll learn as you play. That you'll get better at. But I would like to see the match engine made better. And I think if they tinker with what they've got now, just tinker, not change anything, just maybe make it work a little bit better. I'm not saying it doesn't work properly. I've just not tried a lot of stuff, but no doubt it will have little improvements as the updates go on and all that throughout the year.
Yeah, no doubt.
But it would be nice to see a really good upgrade on the match engine for FM 20, and then just have this. And I know I'm talking well ahead of time because literally today we've just got FM.
It's just come out, man.
Yeah, but I do think apart from the match engine, I honestly can't think of anything that needs updating. I think it like you said, it's appealing to the eye. There's a lot more tinkering you can do. You can actually, put your own sort of philosophy into the game. I think.
Yeah.
There's nothing I'm not happy with. But then I'm not one of these that every year that go, oh, I don't like this, don't like that. If I don't like it, I just go, well, I'll just put me assistant manager on it. Which brings us nicely to the next thing, which I'll let you talk about because I know you love it so much. VAR.
Oh my God! Right, that is so. Where to start? So, I think. It's a computer game, so we don't need it. However, I can understand that it does add an element of theatre. But the thing that winds me up the most with it is why the game insists on showing goal line decisions that aren't goals. So you're playing, the ball goes back to the goalkeeper, it was a shot, we play on, and then the game just goes back to showing the ball trying to cross the line and confirming that it wasn't a goal. But we know it's not a goal. I noticed
that with your first goal in today's episode, actually.
Okay.
And the game had carried on and it went back and you was like, what's going on here? And to be fair, of all the videos I've seen, I've not actually seen a goal line one confirm a goal.
No, and exactly. It would be really interesting if you're watching it play on and it carries on, and then all of a sudden you see that and it turns out it was a goal, not a goal.
Yeah,
it's almost working the opposite way that it should. We don't need to see that it wasn't a goal because a goal wasn't given. Just show me a weird replay.
It already says it's either disallowed or didn't count, or the score hasn't changed in the top corner. I mean, that kind of goes hand in hand with the whole VAR as well, doesn't it? The goal line technology. Because surely if the goal line technology says it's not a goal, then the VAR isn't needed anyway. But back to the actual VAR, in order for it to work, the game has to make a mistake in order to rectify it. But it's a game, it's an AI, so that means there's some element of screwing you over in the game, just to go actually. Do you know what I mean? And
100%.
And essentially, all it is, and again, this goes back to the little bits that might change for FM20. I think this, along with Brexit, is just guesswork at the minute, and it will have changes. Come FM20 when it's more introduced and tested and all that. But right now, we've always had the replays. That's VAR.
Yep. Of course it is.
We've always had VAR because we've had the replays. All they've done really, essentially, is added the animation of a referee running off the pitch, standing in the hallway in the tunnel for a few seconds, and then running back on the pitch and then waving his arms about. Because
I actually haven't ever seen the referee, do VAR.
I haven't, but that's because you're in the Premier League, isn't it? And
exactly, yeah.
But
I don't know.
I have seen it in a few other people's saves. I know it's in Spain.
Yeah.
For sure. Because I'll watch another guy who's managing in Spain Red Event games on his beta save, and he's had it a few times.
I see.
It is just... It's essentially, because we've already got the replays, it's essentially just an added animation to be relevant.
And it looks nice, it's real, but do it when it means something. It's the same with goals whereby the goal's gone in, so you watch the goal live, you then see the replay of it, and then there's a third weird replay where you've got the red line and the yellow line to show that he was onside. And 100% of the time it's just showing that he was onside, not actually you thought it was a goal, but look, he was offside and here's the proof. It's just an extra it's
just another animation, isn't it?
I know,
but maybe, like I said, because they're only new in the game, the updates may improve them. maybe FM20 when like next year, there might be bits in that because by that time Brexit should have happened. By that time, the VAR will be more frequented in the Premier League, maybe, or
good
English
point.
football. So I think they're still learning, but I can understand why SI want it in the game, because
they need to get it in. Yeah,
it's real, isn't it? They want it to be real, and if you don't want it to be real, then if they didn't put it in the game, people would go, but I thought it was meant to be the realest game ever. I thought it was meant to be the most realistic Football Manager ever.
You're right. It has to be in it.
Yeah, it has to be in it. But I do think there will be tweaks. I don't think it's a finished article yet.
No, we can't be the only ones experiencing this, and also we've been experiencing these things in beta. So maybe by the time the game's out, which is today, maybe that's something they could have patched or tweaked or something.
Yeah. Have you got anything else, or should we move on to the favourite features?
We can move on.
Go on then. You can start. You've said about the purple.
The purple is. There's no getting away from it. It is what it is. I enjoy the scouting. Like, scouting has changed a bit. Like last version of the game in FM18, of course, it was massively different. But I've liked how it's been tweaked. I like scouting. I like who doesn't like finding wonder kids and bringing them in, etc. But I like that, and the element of how it's now feels more relevant. It feels now more part of what you're doing. Beforehand, it's just felt very sort of tacked on. And certainly 2 games ago, where you were just effectively scouting 500 people at a time.
Yeah.
So player recruitment is something I'm loving. There are so many small things that are making sort of big differences, and they're almost quality of life things. And I know that that's something that you're a big fan of as well, is the small things that are sort of making a big difference.
Yeah, I've got a few things like there's one when you go into the medical centre, and as soon as you go in across the top of the bar, you've got your sports scientist, and it's got the speech bubble, and it basically says that whether you're training and that has a higher risk of injury, and the players that are more prone to be getting injured and all that. So it's easier to sort of change individual training, rather than in the last game it was kind of like every time you did the processing, it'd come up with a different person going, he's unhappy at the level of training, blah blah blah. He doesn't like it that he's got this much training or this little training. It's all there in one screen, and your sports scientist is saying, like, your injury risk is this, the players that are most at risk are this, and they take into account like the type of injuries that you can pick up by doing that training, and also the type of injuries that your players are more prone to getting. So
I think that, do you know what, that's really interesting. You just mentioned about the sports scientists, because that is almost exactly what we were talking about previously, about something in FM19 for 20.
Yeah.
When the sports scientists came in 18, they didn't do anything.
Exactly. They were just an added thing. And this is there is things going back. I can't off the top of my head think of them, but if you go back a few different ones, they sort of put something in and it doesn't really do anything, and then in the next one they upgrade it and update it, and then all of a sudden it makes sense. And that's why I'm getting this vibe that obviously FM20, they don't want to do too much, but they want to make it better as a whole.
Yeah, they've got to hold something back, haven't they?
Yeah. So I think that's one of the things that a lot of people are saying, and I know I've seen some people saying, can we have FIFA graphics? It's like, no one's asking for that, do you know what I mean? No one's asking for FIFA graphics, but at the minute we've got sort of FIFA 98 graphics. Do you know what I mean? It's like, they could make that better, but obviously that's a massive job. That would be a massive job. So I think that's why I think all of this has been crammed in now for FIFA 19, so that they can work on something big for FM20. So yeah, the sports scientists is, and that's one of the things that make me think, because like you said, they were in the last game, but they did nothing. You hired them, and there was nothing. There was nothing, no role for them.
No.
A few other things I like across the when you press continue and it processes. It usually just has the games you've got and the under 21s games or under 23s games and all that, like at the calendar. But it still has the calendar, but it also has your training on it now.
Yep.
So I think where you've got the full week there, it's good that you'll play a game on Saturday and then you'll see you've got maybe a game on Sunday, and you might look at your training and go, actually, I could do with taking a session off of that game on Saturday. So that it actually gives them rest, and it's like a quick glance, so you're not constantly going in and out of the training tab. It's there in the game as you're going. So I do think that's a good thing. And the last one is a tiny thing, and it doesn't make the game better really, but the ad boards. I really like the fact. I was looking at it the other day, and in recent FMs, the ad boards have literally been advertisements for Football Manager Touch, the Football Manager database on the iPhone,
charity,
the charities that are working with Football Manager, and all that. And as much as the charities are still there, and to be fair, the Football Manager stuff's probably still there as well. But there's also, like, it seems like there's real events. I don't know if there's a one-off, but the other day I was playing it, and I can't remember who it was. It was a singer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like, and it had the date November, the whatever. So they've obviously been, I don't know if they've probably got money for it or whatever, but I think that's a good way to make a bit of money.
Definitely.
Putting actual real advertisements and events that are coming up onto the game, onto the board.
It's a great idea.
I think it was. I think it was Rita Ora or someone like that, live in concert, and I just saw that and I thought, well, that's brilliant. Like, and it's a bit of a money spinning thing really as well, and it's genius because it's there.
It is.
So there's that, and then the
it just adds another level of realism and more sort of immersion into the game.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Cool. Do you know what? Just thinking while you were talking about the training, it reminded me. I didn't even have it as something to say, but I do enjoy being able to praise players for their attitude and performance in training. You touched on it with Lascelles early, but being able to praise someone or otherwise if they perform badly, it's good to be able to sort of give them something back. And I don't know whether it's just me, I'm sure other people do it as well, but if I see someone that's put a 10 in training, I want to put them in the game at the weekend. I want to reward them. Like, even if that link doesn't need to be there, they perform well in training and in real life. That's where the manager decides whether someone's going to get in or not. You put them in the squad because they perform well. So why not?
Yeah, and that's the same all over the game. I mean, you've also got the average ratings, which you said earlier about when they change colour to make it a bit more easier to spot, rather than it all being one colour and looking for 6s and 7s. Do you know what I mean? Now you're looking for green, reds, or yellows. Do you know what I mean? And if they're green, it's like, well, you're on form at the minute. You get in there and play. So yeah, definitely. There's, like I said, this is by far the best Football Manager, and I've only touched on the surface, to be honest. I can already see that there's so much been put in, and it's like Christmas has come early, isn't it?
It is. Obviously, Sports Interactive, Miles, everyone in the team, like, they've done an amazing job, and I can't wait to properly get my teeth stuck into it.
Yeah, I put a tweet out earlier, and I just tagged Football Manager 19 and Miles in it. I don't know if you saw it, but it was basically, I just put Football Manager is the best game by Miles. Yeah, and then I put a little stick man going boom boom.
I did. I saw it. Yeah,
and Miles comment on it going boom boom. So
Oh, did he?
Yeah. So it was
fair play to him.
It just came to me. These things just come to me. I don't know.
It's good.
I don't know where I get them from. Yeah, pluck them out of the sky.
Well done. Perfect. So the next thing I want us to talk about is our social shout out. It's something that is really important to both of us. We want to involve the community. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to Kylex now. Perhaps you can tell us a bit more about the social shout outs, how people can shout out to us, and who we can talk about.
Yeah, so what we're going to do is, like Moochy just said there, we want to make this the best and most interactive with the community show/podcast there is. So what we want to do is we've got the hashtag AFMShow. You don't have to use it, but if you do use it, we're going to search every episode, and we'll try and keep it as fair as possible. We try not to put the same people out every week. Unless only 3 people tweet every week, but we will put the we will read your tweets out basically if they've got the AFC show hashtag on it. So we're just going to read 3 out today. Sometimes we'll do 5, sometimes we'll do 3. It depends on how time's going. So
cool.
The first one we've got is from Super Penguin, and it's an announcement saying that his poll's closed. He put a poll up, a poll. I don't know how to say it, so everyone, I'm saying it in my own way. Yeah, poll.
Yeah.
I'm putting a poll.
That's POLL.
POLE. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was choosing between 3 teams: LAFC. I'm guessing that's Los Angeles Football Club, Ajax, and Hartlepool.
Is this for his main save in FM19?
It was, yeah. So it's closed now anyway, and his save will be. His save in first place with 21 votes was Hartlepool United. So,
Hartlepool.
Yeah, I did mention to him to hashtag Jeff Stelling in it, or at Jeff Stelling in every single episode.
Yeah, exactly.
Until he gets
going.
a shout out, essentially
just wear him
stalking
down.
him on social media. But yeah,
whatever works.
So that's Super Penguin.
Cool.
So we can have a look at that, and
that would be an interesting save, bringing them back out of what, they're in the conference now, aren't they?
Yeah, if they can.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it could be a long old
no
conference
one's been able to
save.
stop their slide, have they? So it would be.
That's
interesting.
True. Super Penguins, man.
So we've got Lloyd's TSB sponsored. Nope, that's not one. Then we've got one from Moochy, which I'll just shout out anyway because why not? It doesn't seem too many so far. So his episode 11 is out, which is 4 episodes ago.
Something like that.
Yeah. So check his stuff out anyway. All the links to all the shout outs as well and all of the all the links for everything we mention in here will be in the thing below on YouTube. If you're watching if you're listening to it on the pod, go on YouTube and check out the links.
Yeah.
Right, and then we've got David Dodgson, or at Dodgy Gamer, who's talking about episode 3 of his FM19 beta save with Stoke City, taking on Bolton Wanderers as they look to cement their place at the top of the championship. So
isn't that save called something quite clever?
No,
I'm sure
that's
I saw
not
some
it.
tweets about
I know
it.
exactly what you're talking about. You're talking about.
Okay.
And as that seems to be the only 2 that have actually, apart from us, that have used the AFM show, I will mention him. JuanOnJuanFM.
Oh yeah.
He's also doing a Stoke save, so go and check that out. It's called If It Ain't Stoke, Don't Fix It.
That's it. That's
and
genius.
I thought it was brilliant. So that's worth the social shout out, even though he hasn't used the hashtag.
That's it. Yeah, maybe we'll get a shout out in return.
Yeah, if we haven't, we've only started using the hashtags a couple of days ago, so we are slowly getting there. But hopefully in future there'll be more hashtags. So that's it for the social shout-outs. Shall we
just let us know how you're enjoying the show, and if there's anything you want to see, want us to talk about, just let us know how your save's going. We'll shout out anything. Just let us know.
Completely, and we'll be able to show you videos, show you clips and stuff like that. So anything. It's your show, guys. So let's make sure it's what you want involved. We will show videos and stuff. So if you've got FM'd. If you've been FM'd or you've got some funny glitches or funny player names or whatever, let us know in the Absolute FM Discord in the channel for the hashtag AFM show, and we will definitely look into putting it on the show. Failing that, you can use the hashtag AFM show, which we will have up every week, so we can pick the 3 to 5 shout outs. So shall we move on to our next game, which is aptly named 2 Truths, 1 Lie? I'll let you go first.
Cool. So what could the game possibly be about? So we figured that this week what we would do is Kylex and I, we have 3 facts. And if you're listening to it on the pod, I've put facts in air quotes. So facts. So we've got 3 things to talk about from our previous FM experience. 2 of them will be a truth. 1 of them will be a lie. And we just have to figure out which one is the lie.
And also, before you start, one thing I will say is this won't be the only game. We are looking at finding games to play when there's guests on as well. You know, we'll do quizzes, we'll do funny games. You know, we want to try and make this something completely different to what everyone's used to. So, back to you, Moochy.
This is just what we'll do this week. Yeah, so you can expect something ridiculous every week, most of the time at this point in the show. So, I've done this across the last 3 games, from the last 3 releases, and you tell me which one is a lie. So, in FM 18, I won the World Cup with Romania. In FM 17, I had a £1 billion transfer budget with Leicester City. In FM 16, I took Bromley from the Conference South to the Championship, and I got sacked in our debut Championship season because we were in the bottom half of the league.
I want to say the last one because it's more realistic.
Okay, you think the last one's the lie?
But I can't imagine having a £1 billion transfer budget with any team. So
okay. So the World Cup win with Romania, the £1 billion transfer budget with Leicester City, or getting sacked having taken Bromley all the way up to the conference and just because we were in the bottom half. Was the last one?
But you were sacked in the debut season, wasn't you?
The debut season. So yeah, we went up from I think it was the Conference South, promoted, not consecutive seasons, but we are obviously making steady progress. And it was our debut season of the Championship, so I don't know what the board expected, but sacking me because clearly.
See, but the Romania thing sounds ridiculous as well. Okay, I'm gonna go with the finance, the £1 billion.
You think that's the lie?
Yeah, because I've never ever seen anyone, even Man City, have £1 billion.
Okay. So, I can tell you that the lie is the World Cup win with Romania.
And that was the last one I was looking at as well.
That was the lie. I didn't win the World Cup with Romania. I just got them to the World Cup.
How did you get £1 billion?
So with Leicester, I had a £1 billion transfer budget and over $2 billion in the bank. So I played with them for, it's got to be like 25, 30 seasons. And
never spent a penny.
Yeah, but basically, we just kept bringing in like youth players, wonder kids, and the game just kind of got to a point whereby, because we were the biggest club in the world, every year that it comes to regens, my scouts, because we had super extensive scouts, they'd just pluck the best wonder kids from around the world, we'd bring them in, and then what I'd try and do was when they were kind of 19, 20, having been out on loan, I'd bring them in. But to bring them in, I had to sell current world-class players for like, he can go for 100 million, he can go for 80 million, etc., etc. And it was just this cycle every single season. And the bank balance was just going up and up and up and up. And it only ended because FM 18 came out. That's the only reason. Otherwise, it would have gone to God knows what.
10 billion.
Yeah, maybe.
Crazy stories. Okay.
Yeah, so there you go.
That's impressive. That's impressive. The one that I actually thought might be true was definitely the. Okay. I'm shocked. Anyway, so my 3, and in no particular order of when it happened, but
right.
I got sacked 6 times on Football Manager 18.
Okay.
In total. I've won the Champions League with Gillingham. And the first team I ever played on any Football Manager game was Newcastle United.
Right. The last one sounds like it's got to be true. Sacked 6 times. Or won the Champions League with Gillingham. Gillingham. I mean that one sounds like a romantic story, but
I will give you a clue.
Okay.
Well, it's not really a clue, but it might. You know, it was FM09 when I played as Gillingham.
Okay.
And Simeon Jackson was my top goal scorer.
I just can't see why you'd have been Gillingham. Like, there's what is the link there? Sacked 6 times. That's a lot of sackings. But difficult. This is difficult. I'll go with. I'm going to say the Champions League win with Gillingham. That's the lie.
No, I won the Champions League with Gillingham.
Right.
It took me 11 seasons from League 2 to the Champions League.
That's good going.
It's not the best. I know a lot of people have done things like that with in less seasons, but and the link is that I'm originally from about 20 minutes from Gillingham.
See, it's your secret past. You got me.
Right. I got sacked 6 times on Football Manager 19, and I'm not going to lie, about 4 of them were within the first 3 months.
Okay.
In the same save. So I started off in the beta save as Bolton Wanderers.
Yep.
Got sacked from them. Then I went to Hednesford.
Mm-hmm.
Got sacked from them. Then I went to
what
Richmond.
What were you doing?
Richmond and Hammond. And then I got sacked from them. And then
I
started a whole new save. And it was a journeyman save with in Malaysia I started as Sarawak. And the first season I did really well. And the second season, nothing changed apart from the fact that we stopped winning games,
right.
Even against the teams that we were hammering the first season. So we got sacked from them, and then I got sacked twice from Man United, which was the 95-96 database that mad scientist did. And the reason I got sacked twice is because I got sacked once and I was on stream, and I had about 12 or 13 people watching. And I said to him, right, it had taken me four seasons to sign Alan Shearer.
Okay.
Through one thing and then another thing and then another thing. So I finally signed him. And
nearly joined in real life, didn't he?
No, I mean, this was for Man United.
Yeah, nearly joined Man United in real life and then went to Newcastle.
3 times he turned them down. But
really?
One reckons he was never offered it. But he's a Man United fan, he would say that.
Okay.
But yeah, the Man United one, I reloaded it because I just signed Alan Shearer and I had such, I wanted him to play.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then I got sacked twice. So, and then that was about 2 months before the end of FM 18, and I said I'm not playing Football Manager 18 again until 19 comes out if I get sacked again, and I did get sacked again.
Oh, it's had a bit of a break.
The lie was actually that I played as Newcastle United on my first ever save. I was York City. In FM 05. Hence the reason my 100 subscriber save was York City save.
And it all ties together.
It's all rounded up.
Well, we both got it wrong, so the game worked.
Hopefully, we'll get to know each other a bit better throughout the season.
Yeah, if we'd have both picked it, then the game wouldn't have been as fun. No. So we both picked the wrong one, which I suppose made it was a good game.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
We'll have to do it again with a guest. Yes, fine. So next is a feature that we'll be doing weekly called our Creator of the Week. And ideally, each week we're going to pick someone from either community or a guest that we'll have on the show, someone that's doing something a bit different or offering a service to the community. We've got people that make databases, kits, face packs, all sorts of stuff, all those kind of things that really enhance your saves and certainly enhance our saves. But because it's the first episode, it was a good opportunity to use ourselves as the creators of the week, just so you know where to find us, what kind of content we're putting out, and what you can expect from us moving forward throughout FM19.
Plus, we've got the microphones, so what we say goes.
That's true. If you don't like it, it's happening. So deal with it. So, Kylex, our creator of the week, what have you got planned for FM19?
Co-creator of the week. But
I'll take that.
But my FM19 save in my head and so far on paper is going to be something very different from anything anyone else has ever done on Football Manager. I don't want to give too much away, but it's, in fact, most of the people who are already in Discord know about it. So I'm partnered up, and I have been partnered up for probably a couple of months now with my local club, Prescott Cables, who are in the not the Vanarama, the Evo Stick Northern Premier Division 1 West. If that, I think I got that right.
Yeah, sounds right.
And basically, the club are basically doing everything with me. They're happy. I've got fans to interview. I've got players to interview. I've got some of the directors even up for being interviewed and that. So I'm not going to say how we're going to be interviewed and things like that, but probably about a week from now, my first episode will be dropping. So keep your eye out for that. It is going to be
amazing.
Less sat at my desk looking at a screen and more sort of entertaining and real life, hopefully. But that only works for as long as people want to be involved. So hopefully it will last the whole episode, the whole of FM19. You know, but if at some point, you know, the players don't want to play their part or whatever, then we may have to think about another way around.
Might depend how well you're doing.
Yeah. I mean, they are doing pretty well in real life this season, to be fair. Very well, actually.
Good on them.
So I'm hoping it's good. I've got a good reputation with them all. That, you know, we have a bit of banter and a talk and that, so it's all good. Yeah, so that's mine. And like I said, I don't want to give too much away, but for at least the first season, and hopefully for unless anyone loses interest, I'm hoping that the whole thing is going to be very different from anything you've ever seen. So make sure you check that out.
It's going to be awesome. It really will be. It's so different. Like I know a bit more than what obviously you've been able to say on the show, and I can assure everyone it's going to be well worth checking out, and you need to make time for it.
You do.
While we're on the subject of your content, tell everyone where they can find you.
Right, so I have Twitch and I've got a YouTube, and they're both Kylex FM. Twitter wants to be funny and won't let me have Kylex FM, so it's Kylex 8 FM. And they
good old Twitter.
Well, it's annoying because the people who have got Kylex FM, some Norwegian pirate radio station or something, and they've never tweeted or anything, but they won't.
Oh, that's annoying.
Yeah, so deal with it, Dad.
Yeah, that's it. It is what it is. People know where to find you anyway.
Yeah.
It's all linked and all the good stuff, and will be linked in the video, of course.
Definitely. And what about you? What's your... Obviously, we know about your Crystal Palace save, so tell us a little bit about your plans for FM19, the full game.
Well, it's strange, isn't it? Because it's going to sound like you and I have just got almost the same idea, but we had these ideas separately before we came together to start doing the show. So I'm also starting in a ridiculously low league. I think we're both actually going to be starting in Tier 8, and the game currently goes down to Tier 6, so we need the update to come out. But I'm also going with my local non-league side, Whiteleaf, and the idea is simply just to take them from the lower depths of English football and get them as high as we can. The premise of my save is that they've never been higher than their current tier in 30 years of existence. So I want to see if I can get them to the Premier League in the next 30 years.
Yours sounds a lot more in detail than mine. My aim's just not to get sacked.
That is my hidden aim to start with. But I think both the saves will be different because, of course, mine is going to be your standard. I'm at my desk. We're going to be talking about the spreadsheet that is Football Manager, and we're going to get into some real detail. Yours has got all that stuff, but it just takes the fun to a whole new level, and hopefully both will offer something for people to look at. I've also been in contact with people at the club. I've been in contact with a few of the players over Twitter. I've seen the team play a few times, and I would recommend anybody getting involved in their local non-league side. I mean, some of the things. Can you imagine the club that you watch week in, week out, sending a message to someone on Twitter and actually having a conversation with them? Like it just doesn't happen. So being able to do that with the players, and they've helped me out with ages, nationalities, what foot the players are preferred, some of their preferred moves or their attributes, etc. And it's just nice to have a bit of involvement in both of our saves, really. So that'll be going out as soon as the database is available, which will be between 1 and 2 weeks after the game officially has released, which, of course, as we all know, is today. And I look forward to getting that going on YouTube. I also do daily videos, so that's something that is going to be, whether you want it or not, these videos are coming and they're going to come daily. So you may as well just give in now and get ready to watch them.
Definitely.
I'm on Twitter. I don't stream, but I'm on Twitter and I'm on YouTube. Nice and simple, thankfully. Twitter was kind to me, and you can find me on both at FM Moochy. FM Moochy. That's FMMOOCHY.
Yeah, not F Moochy.
Yeah.
FMM.
That's right. That might be something else. And if you get bored of the Whiteleaf videos, you may go to the other one. But yes, that's.
Watch
that's
the Whiteleaf ones first.
Yeah. Please watch them first, and but it'd be good. It'd be good fun. I realised that it's not something that it's not inventive. People do non-league to legends all the time, but I think the reason I'm doing it is it's the way that I like to play, and I think it best represents sort of my style within the game. I like long-term saves, and I'm going to play it for at least 30 seasons. Honestly, do you know what? I couldn't tell you the last FM I played where I did more than one save. Apart from the beta, obviously.
Yeah.
I get in, I get stuck in, and I just see where it takes me. Whereas, unlike my FM 18 save, which was a bit of a journeyman, this is just going to be I'm a one-club man and see what we can do in the next 30 years, which, as you rightly pointed out, starts with just not getting sacked.
Which is the easy part. Promotion's the hard part.
That's true. I don't know. Getting sacked might not be the easy. We'll see. We'll see. But I'm looking forward to it, and I can't wait for us both to get the saves going. So that's going to do it for our very first episode of the Absolute FM show. It's been a pleasure making it, and I look forward to making some more moving forward. I'm sure we've both had a great time. Make sure to follow the show at FM Absolute. Follow both me and Kylex on Twitter. Check out some of our content if it's of interest. Thank you for your time. We look forward to seeing you again next week. Take care.
Peace out, guys.